All right, we have a question from Miscellaneous One. Where do you usually find polybags? Are they just in the normal Lego section of a store? Because I can never find them. That's actually a really good question because we talk about polybags a lot. A lot of times there's really good value in polybags, and especially for the minifigures that you can get. But polybags can be kind of a tough thing because typically when they come, a lot of them, at least a lot of the good ones, like the really good one right now recently is the one that Steven just talked about in our last Brick Show Raw video, the grandfather clock, and you get the ghost. And it's very hard to get those ghosts because the only way you can get them is, as far as I know, three ways. In the haunted house, you get one. You get some in the ghost train. You also get some in this set. You get one. But this set's $15 and you can only get it in the Lego store. But you can get this poly bag that has a grandfather clock and a ghost, and it's only $5. So it's a really good way to get that ghost minifigure. So how do you find them? Typically, they're all over. I know that's probably not the answer you're looking for, but for instance, this grandfather clock one, I saw it in Target. I have not seen it anywhere else. I think Steven got his at Toys R Us. And typically, polybags are just, a lot of times they're just quickly released, usually for a specific event or season. Usually they're seasonal. So like the grandfather clock one, you'll probably see it up until Halloween, and then it'll probably disappear. So it's not really cool, but that's the way it goes. They kind of just throw them out. I don't think there's many production runs of these polybags. It's kind of like they have an idea, and what it probably is, and this is purely a guess, but talking to Lego before, people that work at Lego, this is why they do smaller polybag type stuff. They make sets and they overmake, or they have too many and they're not selling well. So a way to get rid of extra figures, extra pieces, is to create this polybag and throw them in there. So let's take the ghost train. Maybe they made tons of ghost trains and now they're not selling quite as well right now. Maybe they'll pick up sales towards Halloween, but right now, maybe because of the price point or whatever, they're not selling as well, but now they have all of these ghosts lying around and they need to get rid of them, because when you have a box full of minifigure ghosts in your warehouse, that's a wasted space. They're just sitting there not selling. And since maybe everybody's pretty much stocked up on the ghost train, those ghosts are just sitting there. So they say, hey, let's make a quick little micro build of a grandfather clock, and then let's throw all these ghosts that we have extras of in there as well, and boom, they ship those out. And it's a good way to sell a lot of ghost minifigures. It helps them get rid of them, and they make a little money on them. And that's typically the type of thing that will happen. And what will then usually happen is that once they've kind of been able to get rid of those ghost minifigures, you're not going to see it return. At least in my personal experience, that's the way that it's been. We reviewed, there was a Lord of the Rings polybag with Frodo and then like a little, well, it was like a keg. And you tipped it over and it was on a little table. It was very simple, but it was very cool because it was a nice, cheap way to get Frodo. And I got it at Toys R Us, but you know what? I have not seen that anywhere in the last month. So it's kind of like they come, they go, and that's it. But to answer your questions, how do you get them? Here are some tips. Don't always look in the Lego section. Usually they are in the Lego section, especially at Toys R Us. But a lot of times they're at the end or in these little side, like framed compartments where they kind of stuff smaller sets. And you may see the collectible minifigs in those type of areas, and then also these poly bags. So they won't be just in a box along with the other sets. They may be what they call an end cap. That's what they call them in business, an end cap. It's the end of the aisle. And it may not even be, it may be on an end cap that is not really on the Lego aisle, maybe fairly close. So you need to look there. But at Target especially, this is true. Now this is where we found the grandfather clock. It was not in the Lego section at all. Typically Target does not put their poly bags in the Lego section. What they do And during Easter they do this, during Halloween they do this, during Christmas they do this, during all big seasons. Target has areas, so if you're making an Easter basket for somebody, they'll put all the Easter basket type of gifts, types of things, you know, the $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 things in one area. And right now they're doing that for Halloween baskets. They put candy, and they have the Polybags in that section. They have the candy, your M&Ms, and then that was where the Polybag was, because it was a cheap gift that you could throw in a Halloween basket or some sort of small Halloween gift. So that's where you got to look. But again, you got to look all the time. Whenever you go to Walmart, whenever you go to Target, whenever you go to Toys R Us, you've got to go to the Lego aisle and you've got to look around, because this stuff comes and goes quickly. We go to these places 3 to 4 times a week each. So that's me and Steven, and we're in 2 different locations. So we have a lot of eyeballs on different things in a lot of different stores. So we're able to get these things when they're out. Now we do it so that we can review it for you guys and let you know what's available. But if you, as a collector, as a toy collector, as a Lego kid wanting to play with this stuff, get this stuff, especially Polybags that are cheap, you got to be there a lot, which may not be easy for you. But when you are there, when you can control that and you are there, you need to really look around and look around at all the places it could be. Look in the candy aisle. Look in the front aisles where the bubble gum is. Sometimes they put stuff there. Stores will test. Stores will test locations of items like that because they're impulsive buys. A $5 Lego set, it may be the mom who says, hey, I'll get you something. And so there you have the gum and the baseball cards and Pokemon, and then maybe a couple of small Polybags from Lego, because they're the kind of things that moms will say, yeah, I'll get you something small so you stop bothering me. So you got to look at all of those kinds of areas. Look outside of the Lego aisle. That's easy. Yes, of course, look there. They do have them there. But look in other areas, candy aisles, small gift aisles, seasonal sections that have been set up specifically for seasons. During Easter, there is always an Easter basket gift section, and a lot of times Polybags will be there. And here we are in September, and already the October Halloween stuff's out, so you got to look early, because a lot of times the store may only get one production shipment, and it's over. So if you didn't get it, you're out of luck. Which is why I like the Polybags. We didn't used to review Polybags on the Brick Show, on our Brick Show channel, but we do now for that reason, because a lot of times they come and go. Now there are some that stick around for a long, long time. I don't know if that's because Lego just has so much of it, or because they're so popular that they do restock, or that they're so stupid that nobody buys them and they just sit there, and so you're not really sure if they're old ones still sitting there or new ones that have come in. Doesn't really matter. That's how you find them. So good luck, guys. Polybags. Polybags in a lot of ways are kind of the undercover, hidden secret of Lego collecting. Polybags do go up in value, investors. Believe it or not, if you look at brickpicker.com, they do go up in value. Now, and actually quite a bit. Now, not dollar-wise, but if you look at percentage-wise growth, they do. We'll probably cover that on Brick Show soon, but hope that helps.